Ciao a tutti, sono Simona di Italian Insight e benvenuti sul mio canale. Do you like this addition to my background? Finally, our course Italian from Scratch begins. The first 4 videos of our course will be dedicated to Italian pronunciation. In this first video, we will talk about vowels. In the next video, we will see combinations of vowels, so diphthongs and hiatuses. Then we will see the consonants, so the rest of the alphabet. And finally, we will talk about combinations of consonants that make particular sounds. Learning the alphabet is important when you are learning any language, but especially if you're learning Italian. That is because in Italian, every letter has a fixed sound. So once you've learned the alphabet and a few pronunciation rules, you'll be able to read almost every single word. I said almost. Before starting, I want you to know that this is going to be a very dense video. So feel free to pause it, process the information you've learned, and come back to watch rest later. When you're done watching this video, you will find a recap of this lesson on my website, italianinsight.com. However, I highly suggest you take notes of your own because it will help you learn faster. No more chatting now, cominciamo! In Italian we have 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, U. But 7 vowel sounds because E and O can make 2 sounds each. A is the first vowel and first letter of the alphabet. It's called A, it's pronounced A. Couldn't be easier. Just keep your mouth wide open and say A. A. Some words containing A. Ape, ala, amare. E is our second vowel, but we need to say a couple of things about E. In Italian, we have 2 ways to pronounce E: the closed E and the open E. The closed E sounds like the E in veil. Veil. E. E. The open E sounds like the E in best. Best. E. E. E, E, All non-stressed E's are closed in Italian, so they sound like the E in veil. For example, in the word mare, the stress is on the A, so you can be sure that the E is closed. Mare, mare. Now, the question is, when the stress is on the E, should you pronounce it as the E in best or as the E in veil? The easiest case is when the stressed E is at the end of a word, because in Italian we only write a visual accent when the stress falls on the last syllable. When the accent is shaped like this, so it's lower on the left and higher on the right, it's called accento acuto. When you see an accento acuto, you have to pronounce the E as a closed E. Remember, E as in veil. For example, let's take the word perché. The word perché has 2 E's. The first E is not stressed, so you know for sure that it's going to be closed. The second E is at the end of the word, so you can see the shape of its accent. And since it's an accento acuto, this one is also going to be pronounced as a closed E. Remember, E as in veil. Instead, when the accent is shaped like this, so it's higher on the left and lower on the right, it's called accento grave. If you see an E with an accento grave, you have to pronounce it as an open E. For instance, caffè. This word has an accento grave on the E. Therefore, you have to pronounce it as an open E. Remember, E as in best. Caffè, caffè. E, 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 E. When the stressed E is not at the end of the word, you can't see its accent, so you can't visually see whether it's open or closed. And unfortunately, there are no fixed rules as to whether the A should be open or closed. So your best bet to know how to pronounce it is to use a dictionary. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. Choose a dictionary. Online ones are fine too. Right now I'm using Olivetti Italiano, but you can use any. This is not sponsored, by the way. Look for the word you're interested in and check the accent. Dictionaries show the accent even when the stress does not fall on the last syllable. Let's take the word esterno. This is a difficult word if you're a beginner, but I'm just using it to show you how the dictionary works. As you can see, the word esterno has two E's. The stress falls on the second E because it has the accent. The first E is obviously closed because it's not stressed. For the stressed E, just look at the shape of its accent. And remember what I told you, higher on the left, lower on the right, accento grave, open E, as in best. So in esterno, we have both closed and open E's. Esterno, closed, open. Esterno, veil, best. Esterno. Also, if you're familiar with the International Phonetic Alphabet, you can look for this symbol which indicates an open E. Let's look at another word, fresco. As you can see, the E has an accento acuto, lower on the left, higher on the right. So it has to be pronounced as a closed E, as in veil. Also, with reference to the International Phonetic Alphabet, this is the symbol that indicates a closed E. It looks just like a normal E. Fresco, fresco. Now a little test for you. I'll say some words that contain stressed E's. Try and guess if they're open or closed. The first word is festa. Festa. Festa has an open E, as in best. Festa. Next up, we have meno. Meno. The E in meno is closed. E as in veil. Meno. Meno. The last word is bello. Bello. The E in bello is an open E. I know what you might be thinking. You said we'd be able to read every word, and now you say we have to use a dictionary. Listen, the pronunciation you see on a dictionary is what we call standard Italian. But in real life, people from different regions or even different provinces speak differently. And this speaking differently involves closed and open vowels too. For example, in standard Italian, this word is pesto, but in my province and in many others, we say pesto. So if I were you, I wouldn't worry too much about how to pronounce the E just yet, because you will pick up the pronunciation of words as you learn. And the pronunciation you learn might not be the standard Italian one, but it will depend on where you're learning, if you're learning in Italy, and where your teacher is from. It's worth mentioning that only in a few cases the way you pronounce the E will make an actual difference on the meaning of words. For example, pesca and pesca. Pesca with a closed E is the act of fishing. Pesca with an open E is peach, the fruit. But again, going back to regional varieties, in my region, people put a lot of open E's where they shouldn't be. So you might hear people say pesca with an open E even when they mean fishing. Again, you will pick up the pronunciation as you learn. No need to worry about all of that now. Moving on to E, our third vowel. E is pretty easy too. It sounds like the English E, and when you pronounce it, it's like you're smiling. Cheese, E. A few examples. Italia, isola, fine, Now on to our fourth vowel, O. O is similar to E as there are two ways to pronounce it, closed and open. To pronounce the closed O, you have to leave a small but round opening in your mouth. It sounds like this. O. Think of the O in the word go. You have to remove that sound at the end and you're just left with O, not O, but O. O. It can be found in words such as mondo, nome, come. To pronounce the open O, think of the sound you make when saying off. O. O. You can hear it in the words costo, mora, cosa, o, o. Just like the letter E, when the O is not stressed, it has to be pronounced as closed. For example, in the word capo, the stress falls on the A, so you know for sure that the O is closed. Capo, capo. As I said for the letter E, the pronunciation of this vowel will vary based on where you are in Italy. You can look up words in the dictionary to know for sure if they have to be pronounced with an open or a closed O. Look at the word mora. As you can see, it has an accento grave, so open O as in off. If you're familiar with the International Phonetic Alphabet, this is the symbol that indicates an open O. Mora, mora. Now look at the word nome. As you can see, the O has an accento acuto, so it has to be pronounced as closed. O, nome, nome. O, o. Now on to our last vowel. This one is pretty easy too. There's only one way to pronounce it. It's pronounced like the U in fruit. U. U. Some Italian words with U are lupo, luna, frutta. In the next video, we will talk about combinations of vowels, so diphthongs and hiatuses. If you don't want to miss it, remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. But for now, I'll leave you with this lesson to study. I know it's tough, but you can do it. Alla prossima!